Okay, let me know if my screen is visible. Are we good to start? Okay, okay, Chaitanya. Okay, let us do a small recap. Yesterday we were discussing about the Java method. The method concepts has been introduced yesterday. So let us do a quick recap. So a method is a block of code, or we can say that collection of statements. Okay, the block of code gets grouped together to form a certain task. You can design your own method in such a way that it is performing a certain task. It can be an addition task, it can be a subtraction task, any kind of logic that you can give in a method to do a specific task. Okay, the methods are used to achieve the code reusability. You can declare method only once, you can build method only once. Okay, build method only once, and reuse it many times. So you do not have to write the logic over and over again. Same logic, you do not have to write it over and over again. So this is a point that justifies about the reusability. Build it once and reuse it many times. Okay, so the methods can be executed, invoked, or called only when you transfer the control. It cannot be called automatically. Methods cannot be called automatically. Once you declare the method, it doesn't mean that the method is going to get called automatically. It's the programmer's responsibility to transfer the control, to execute or to invoke or to call the method. Okay, so in Java, and again, the most important method is what? The main method. Main is also a method, but all the executions, all the instructions inside the main method will get executed in the sequential manner from top to bottom, right? So this is the typical syntax of a method. And so the contents that is written in the square braces are optional one. So return type is mandatory, method name is mandatory, and parameter list is also an optional thing. Today we will discuss about this parameter list. Throws exception list. This is a topic in the exception handling, a future topic. Okay, since it is an optional, we do not have to discuss much about this now. Okay, so there is a block here. So here you will have your instructions. We will give instructions here. Okay. So next thing is, in the above syntax, all the content that is specified in the square braces are optional. So this is what it means. These are optional. Okay. Java methods allows all the access modifiers, right? So in place of access modifiers, you can use public, private, protected. If you do not use anything, it will be treated as default. If you don't use anything, it will be treated as what? It will be treated as a default access modifier, not an access modifier. It will be treated as default. Okay, and again we have another keywords like static, final. Okay, these are the things that we will discuss in the future topics. It is not necessary now, but you can get acquainted with these words. Okay, return type. Okay, return type can be any data type. There are 8 data types. It can be any data type. If you are not specifying any data type, okay, in place of return type you can use void. What you can use? Void. But you should do something. If these data types are not used in place of return types, this must be used. Okay, so that's what here it says. Please be informed that if any of the primitive data types are used in the place of return type, it is mandatory to use the return keyword at the end of the method. Okay, we will discuss once again about this. Yesterday, there is a little confusion. So not only for you, everyone will be confused for the first time, because this is a topic of discussion, right? For the first time, we are discussing about methods. So confusion will be there, and in the next 3 classes, you will get a lot of clarity on this. Your confusions will be clear. Trust me. Okay. Shall we get started? Any doubts so far? Say yes, no. Shall we continue? Shall we proceed further? Okay. Okay, then we are good to go. Okay, let's start it. Okay. So let me take this today. Today you need to do a lot of observation. Okay. Focus here. So let me take the same syntax. Let me use this syntax. Okay. So once let me open the plain box. I'm going to use the same syntax. Okay, the syntax is going to be like, okay, this is the syntax. Okay, and if you look at the syntax, let me write it a little big for better observation. Okay, syntax is clear now. Okay. So this is the typical syntax, and these are the optional things. Let me separate this. Let me separate this. Let me separate this. Okay, let me separate this. Okay. So here we have the syntax. First, let me remove all the optional things. These are optional. It is not mandatory for the discussion. It is not mandatory. We will discuss about this later. Okay. So to build a method, so we need to ensure that all the mandatory things are applied. Okay. Let us apply the mandatory things to build a method. That's why I'm removing all the optional things. Okay. This is also an optional things. Don't worry about this word, since it is an optional. So we will discuss about this later. So return type is mandatory. Okay. Method name is mandatory. Okay. Followed by this parenthesis is also mandatory. These are the mandatory things, right? So now I said in place of return type, okay, the scope for the return type is you can use any of the primitive data types. What are the primitive data types that we have in our hands? There are totally 8 primitive data types, right? We know this already. We have seen a lot of videos on top of primitive data types. Okay, these are the primitive data types that we have in Java. Only 8 are there. Okay, so there should not be any discussion on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now focus here, guys. There are 8 primitive data types in Java. Okay, the return type says in place of, so this is the mandatory thing. If you want to substitute the return type with the data types, if you want to substitute the return types with the following data types, okay, if you remove this, okay, I can use any of the data types. If I use integer, I can use it, or else I can use what? Instead of integer, I can use boolean also. I can use anything. I can use boolean also. I can use, right? But whatever I'm using, okay, whenever I'm using any one of these primitive data types, okay, when I'm using any one of these primitive data types, give me a moment. Let me allow. Okay, when I'm using any of the when I'm using any of the primitive data types, for example, in our case, if I'm using integer, let us take that I'm using integer. Okay, it is mandatory. It is mandatory to use what? It is mandatory to use the return keyword. Okay, if I'm using int here, okay, I should also return something. I should also return the integer value. Okay, now this is a complete method. For example, instead of integer, if I'm using boolean, okay, I need to ensure that I'm returning something of boolean type. Return keyword is mandatory here. First of all, and we should understand that return keyword is mandatory. Return keyword is mandatory. Since it is boolean, I can return only boolean data type here. So what are the boolean values we have? True or false? I can either return true or false, but it should be a boolean type. So this is also correct. False I can do, or else I can do true. Both are valid. Okay, for example, now if I'm using, apart from boolean, if I'm using the character data type, when I use the character data type, okay, I have to return what? I have to return a character. So it is an obligation. It is our duty to return the character. Anything should be in the form of character. Making sense? But the question is, if I'm not returning anything, okay, if I don't want to use any of these data types, okay, I am supposed to use what? I am supposed to use the keyword called void. When you choose not to use any of these 8 data types, okay, it is mandatory to use at least void. If you are using void, you do not have to return anything. Apart from void, if you are using any other data type, it is mandatory to return the respective data type value. Are we good so far? Everyone? Yes, no? Darshini, Raji B, Chaitanya, Teja. Yeah. Now let us see some used cases here. Okay. So this is the mandatory thing. Void is a mandatory thing. Okay. Method name is mandatory. Okay. Instead of method name, you can give any other name. Okay. You can give your own name. No issues. So for this, let us take that addition. You can give any name. Depends upon the functionality of the method. Depends upon the logic of the method. Okay. That meaningful name you can give here. No issues. Since it is void, return keyword is not mandatory. Okay. Apart from void, if you're using any other data type, first try to think what data type you're using. For example, if you're using byte data type, you should return a value that falls within the byte range. If you are using short data type, you should return a value of a number that falls within the short data type range. Integer data type range. Long data type range. Float, something a floating point value. Boolean, true or false. Char, any character in the single quotes. Okay. When you use all these, when you use any one of these, it is mandatory to use what? Return keyword. When you use any one of this data type, okay, it is mandatory to use what? Return keyword. I can say like, please be informed that if any one of these data types are used in the return type placeholder of a method is mandatory to use the return keyword which returns the value of the same data type. If you use int data type, you should return a value of an integer. If you use short, you should return a value of short. Likewise, if you use any of the data type, the value of the same data type has to be returned. Okay, let me include this in the notes. Same thing, but a little different explanation here again. Okay. Okay, let us take a small example here. So we have a class A and we have a main method. Okay. So what is the syntax for building a method? The mandatory things are what? Return type is mandatory. Return type, method name is mandatory. You can give any name. Okay. And opening parenthesis, this simple flower brackets means simple brackets are mandatory. Open and close it, and opening braces and the closing braces. Okay, these are the mandatory things to build a method. So return type. Okay, let us take that we are not considering any return type. Okay, in this place I can replace this with, I can substitute void here. I do not want to return anything. Okay, I want to do the addition operation. Okay, the name of the method can be addition, meaningful name. Okay, so inside this, what I'm going to do, I'm taking two variables, integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20. Okay, system dot out dot println. Okay, I say a plus b. A plus b. Okay, So now we have an addition method. So addition method has been built successfully. Okay. So what is the return type of this method? Now we answer me. So when I give you this method, okay, when I ask you the return type, what is the return type of this method? What is the return type here? Answer. Am I audible, everyone? Hello, Darshini. Okay, return type is void. Why you are thinking a lot? Return type is void. What is return type? Void is a return type. Okay, internally void is not going to return anything. If I ask return type, you should find the placeholder of the return type. So this is the placeholder of the return type. Okay, what is the word here? What is the vocabulary here? Void is the vocabulary. So this is the return type. What is the name of the method? What is the name of the method? Addition. Okay, it should be simple. I'm asking you because there is a reason for this. You need to remember this placeholders. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, so return type is void and the name of the method is addition. What is the access modifier here? If I'm not specifying any access modifier, how it will be treated by the compiler? Default is the access modifier. By pronunciation it is default, because if you're not giving any access modifier like public, private or protected, the compiler is going to treat it like default. Okay, now if I run this code, what will be the output? Now you tell me, if I run this code, what will be the output? Okay, you should say blank, empty. Okay, good. Why empty? Because the execution starts from the main method and there are no instructions specified in the main method. There are no instructions specified where? In the main method. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, now if I want to transfer the control to the addition method, what is the first step? What is the first step? You know this already. We have discussed about this yesterday. Okay, there was a complete discussion about this. We want to transfer the control to the addition method. What is the first step? Object creation. Good, Jyoti. Object creation is the first step. How the object can be created? Give me the syntax of the object creation. The name of the class is a object creation is very simple. Now you help me with the syntax of object creation, or help me with the code for the object creation. A obj equal to new A. Good. A obj equal to new A. Good. So first syntax is, first thing that we need to look after is what? Object creation is mandatory to transfer the control to the addition method. Now how the control can be transferred to the addition method? Now what is the second step now? What is the second step? We need to call that method. How that call can happen? Okay, use the reference variable name obj dot, use the name of the method. The name of the method is what? Addition. Just copy this and paste it here, semicolon. Okay, now the control will be transferred to the addition method. All the instructions inside the addition method will get executed one by one. Yes or no? Right? So let us understand this. You know this already. So let me take the paint screen. Okay. This is the paint screen. Okay, so we know this already. So when the execution starts, the execution will start from the main method. Okay, so main method for the first instruction is the object creation. An object will be created. We will discuss about the object creation in the future topics. Okay, with the reference variable of this object creation, we are doing what? We are performing a method call obj or addition. Okay, it means we are transferring the control to the addition method. This thread will look for the method that says addition. Okay, let us found the addition method. Okay, all the instructions in the inside the addition method will get executed. After the execution, the thread will come back to the same place. And after this, there are no instructions to be executed. Okay, the thread will be destroyed. Okay, what is the output now? What is the output for this? 30. Good that you are answering 30. The same thing. Now, if you observe one thing, here I am using the return type as void. Okay, if I want to convert this, if I want to convert this method, if I want to replace this method, okay, by using a return type, by changing the return type. Okay, how it can be done, that we will discuss now. Okay, so let me keep this here. Let me go back here. So here I am changing the return type from void to integer now. Now you focus. Okay, if I make changes here, now you think, okay, this is a primitive data type. If I choose primitive data type as a return type, what is the one thing that I need to consider? Just look at this and tell me. What is the mandatory thing? If the return type is changed to a primitive type, from void to the primitive type, what is the one thing that I need to focus and what is the one thing that I need to consider? Return keyword is mandatory. Good, Chaitanya. Return keyword is mandatory. Right? Return keyword is mandatory. Okay. Why others are not answering? Darshini, Rajiv B, Jyoti S, Krishna Prasad. Only Chaitanya is answering. Teja. Are you getting my point, Darshini? Yeah, be quick enough to answer. Okay, the session should be interactive. Don't do any delays. Okay, so this is changed to int. Okay, let me make the change here int. Okay, now focus. You will get a lot of you will get a lot of doubts here. Okay, so I have used the return keyword, but this is nowhere is going to help us out. We will get the compilation error. Okay, along with the return keyword, I need to return something which is an integer type. Yes or no? Using only return keyword is not the big deal. Okay, along with the return keyword, I need to return something which is of what type? Integer type. Okay, so let me return a value. First of all, let us return a value. What value can I return? Let me return 100 or 1000. Let me return. Okay, think and answer me. If I run the same code once again with these changes, what is the output? The same logic. The first of all, you need to think about the main method. Okay, focus the main method. Okay, look at the instructions in the main method and give me the output. Okay, guess the output. What output I will get now if I run this code? Chaitanya says 30, Prasad says, what about others? If you don't know, you can answer don't know, I will explain you, but don't keep the session inactive. Want answers from everyone. If you know, you can answer. If you don't know, you can say that you don't know. Everyone says 30. Teja says don't know. Good. Jyoti N says 1000. Okay, I need to get this mixer and Jyoti S says 1300. Why 1300, Jyoti S? Madhu says 30. Okay, I will explain you, no worries. Okay, see, let me take the same code from here. Okay, now we focus here, guys. Focus here. I understand that there will be some confusion. Okay. Okay, this is the code. Let me remove this. Okay, so the main thread will come into the picture. Main thread get access to the main method. All the instructions in the main method will get executed. First, object creation. Forget about the object creation. We know that what is an object creation for now. At least we know how to create an object. Secondly, addition method will be called. Okay, the control will be transferred to the addition method, right? From here, the control will be transferred to the addition method. So now we focus here, guys. Something interesting will happen. So let me take this. Okay. Control will be transferred to the addition method. What is the first instruction? A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Right. So in the stack memory, value 20 will be assigned to B and 10 will be assigned to A. So this is 10 and this is 20. Okay, A, B. Okay, so these two things are done. Okay, these two things are done. Third thing is a direct print statement. Okay, so there is no confusion here. Third line says print the value of A plus B. So what value will be displayed in the console? If this is the console, 10 plus 20 is going to be what? 30. So 30 will be displayed in the console. No doubts here. 30 is going to get displayed in the console. Yes. Okay. Fourth line says return 1000. Okay. This means this value 1000 will be transferred to this control, return to this control, and this is going to carry to the same line which it was called from here, so it will get back to the same line. Okay, this 1000 is being returned to here, returned to this line, especially this line. Focus here, especially this line. But we are not catching this value. Are we catching this value? We are not catching this value. If you are not catching this value, what happens? You know, the control will move to the next line. The thread will be destroyed. As simple as that. So output is going to be 30 only. Making sense? Output is going to be what? Output is going to be 30 only. Yeah. So now let me explain you in a different way. So this 1000 is getting returned to the thread, right? So I want to catch this value. If I want to catch this value, I need to store this to a variable, right? So I am assigning. So if I call this thread obj.addition, after printing, after executing all these three lines, okay, it is also returning value 1000. It means obj.addition is also equal to 1000, right? Both are same. When you call this, okay, it is returning, it is giving you what? It is giving you 1000. Why 1000? Because that is what you are giving here. If you are giving here 2000, you will get 2000. If you are giving here 3000, you will get 3000. Okay, it will be replaced. That's it. Okay, it is going to get replaced. Obj.addition is going to return you 1000. Okay, this value 1000 needs to be stored in what data type? Integer data type. That is what we have defined here, right? Integer. So I am using another variable here, store of integer data type. Okay, now tell me what is output. Okay, think and tell me what is output. Chaitanya says blank. What about others? Yes, no, don't know. Is it visible now, Madhu? What is the answer for this? Blank, empty. Okay. Is there anyone who needs to answer this? Why everyone are saying blank? Let me run this. Even the experienced candidate also saying this as blank. I don't know why. Java C space a.java Java space A. 30, no, why you will get blank? 30 has to be printed, no, here. Okay, now listen, I will explain this for the last time and I will be asking you many questions. You should answer this. Okay, people who have mentioned it as blank, now think once again and answer me. Okay, file a new. Let me open this one. Okay, this is our question. Okay, you need to focus only on these two lines. Okay, only the main method. Okay, so this main method, object creation is there. Okay, because of this object creation, you are able to get access to the method that you have defined. Here we are getting access to what? Obj.addition method. The control will be transferred to the addition method. First instruction a equal to 10, second instruction b equal to 20. Okay, in the memory, what happens? Value A and value B, or I mean value 10 and 20 will be assigned to what? A and B. 10, 20. You should think like this every time. You should ensure that you are checking line by line. A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Don't do imagination. Take pen and paper and write this. You will get it. A and this is B. Okay. So we have justified these two lines. First two lines. For the first two lines, this has happened in the memory perspective. After this, so there is a statement, right? It says system.out.println. It means we need to, something will be displayed in the console. Don't you think so? A plus B is going to be 30 here. Okay, in the console, A plus B is going to be what? 30. Okay, from here, the last line is what? The return statement. Return 1000. Okay, this control will take this 1000. This 1000 will be returned to this controller. Okay, and this 1000 will be sent back here. Okay, now this 1000 will be stored with the variable store in the memory. Okay, a memory gets allotted, and this value 1000 will be assigned to the variable in the store itself. Assignation is completed. We are not printing, right? So the thread will be destroyed. Making sense, everyone? Yes, no? Who have said blank, especially Krishna Prasad, Chaitanya, Darshini, no answer from you. Making sense? Okay, so now you answer me. So you need to remember only one thing here. What you need to remember? First, your focus should be in the main method. From main method, how the control is getting transferred. Once it is transferred to a different method, you need to think about all the lines, right? You should think about this assignation. Here it is on printing. When you see system.out.println, something will be displayed. It cannot be blank, right? Even if you miss what is being displayed, that is okay, but something will be displayed. Right? After displaying this thing, it is returning something, 1000 it is returning. Okay, the main thread will collect this value and it will return to the variable store. This will be storing. Okay, now if I do this, now you tell me the output. System.out.println. Okay, if I use store, now what is the output now? $30,000. 30,000, right? Chaitanya, you missed once again. 30,000. Do you agree with Do you agree with Jyoti and Madhu? Everyone? Do you agree with this? Jyoti, yes, it should be 30,000, not 1030. Darshini, why you are not responding? Do you have any internet issues or what? Samyukta, are you able to follow now? Samyukta? Okay. You joined just now. That's why I said. Okay, Darshini. Thank you for confirming. Okay. Okay, now you answer this to me if you have understood this. Okay, now see, what did I just do? Okay, so this was. Okay, now what I am doing, so see, I am system.out.println, I am using A plus B. Here I am actually using the manipulation, what we call it as the actual logic here, actual summation logic, addition logic. Instead of using system.out.println, if I remove this, okay, I can do this now. Return A plus B. Okay, now what is the answer now? Don't think much. Think from the beginning. Start from the main method. Okay. Think about the object creation, and next thing is method call. If you call this method, it is returning something. carry that value and assign it to the store and print the value of the store itself. What is the output now? 30, right? So don't you think that the code has been become very concise now, right? So this is the actual logic. So you can use return. Okay, it is returning something. What is that something? Addition of two numbers. We are not using any print statements here. Previously, in the void example, we have taken the void example. We are using the print statement. To avoid using print statement, I am using directly the execution a plus b. Right? A plus b. If I use a plus b, output is what? Addition. Okay. If I use a minus b here, output is going to be what? Subtraction. If I use a into b, output is going to be multiplication. A divided b, a by b, output is going to be division. I can manipulate everything here, right, with the return keyword. Don't you think so? Right. So let me do the small tracing. After this, we will discuss about the complex problems. Okay. So this is our code. Okay, main thread will get created. Main thread will get access to what? Main thread will get access to main method. Okay, object creation is done. From the object creation, next thing is first look at the right side. Just focus only on the right side. Right side, a method call is happening. Obj.addition. It's a method call. Okay, so the addition method is called. Okay, a equal to 10, b equal to 20. Okay, values are assigned. 10 values assigned to the variable a. 20 values assigned to what? 20 values assigned to variable b. Right? Then after that, return a plus b. What is a plus b? 30. Right? So this is going to carry what? Along with this, the control will carry this 30. Okay, this 30 will be assigned to the variable. What variable? Store variable. So in the memory, okay, this value will be assigned to what? Variable store. Okay, so after this, the control will be transferred to the next line. So we are printing the value of store. What is the value of store? 30. 30 will be displayed in the console. Making sense? Okay, if you compare this logic, okay, this is the addition logic, but this logic is created with the return statement, integer. I can also use this. Instead of doing this, I can also build a method like void addition right, integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20, right, and sum dot out dot println here a plus b. Both are going to give me the same output, yes or no? Right? So when you do not use any kind of data type, okay, it is mandatory to use the void type. Void type means it is okay not to use anything. It is not running anything. Okay, the control will be transferred here. All the instructions will be executed. The control is not going to carry anything on top of it. A straightforward execution. But when you use a return type, okay, when the control is getting back to its original location, it will carry something along with it or on top of it. In this case, it is carrying what? 30. 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Okay. Here it is going to assign this. We are going to assign this carried value to a different variable, and we are going to access that variable. Right? It is like when you talk with this method, when you perform a request, when you perform a call with this method. Okay, from the main method, when you perform a call, if you touch this method or if you send a request to this method, okay, if this is the request, okay, and it is going to respond to you with a value, you will get a response, you will receive a response, but this time since it is integer type, you will get something of integer type. receiver gets some value of integer type, right? If it is a boolean type, you will get something of boolean type. It means you call this, it is going to give you something. If you go to the grocery, you want to purchase something, so you use what actually we do the exchange with the money. You give the money and you get something for that money. At least you will get something. When you're calling it, you have to get something, right? So you get something only for the primitive data types, not for the void type. If you use void, you will not get anything. Only the instruction gets executed. The control will not carry anything. Apart from void, if you are using any other data type like integer, float, boolean, whatever it is, you should ensure that the logic is built in such a way that the return keyword is used. Along with the return keyword, you need to return the same data type value. Right? Let us see one more example for the better clarity here. Okay. Do you have any questions still now for the return type? Yes, no? Got it, everyone? Samyukta, yesterday you have voted. You all have voted for the confusion, right? Is your confusion cleared, or you people are still feeling confused? I want answers from you, Raji, Samyukta, Darshini. Okay, good. We will see few more examples. I will clear your confusion. Okay. So instead of integer type, let me use a different data type called Boolean type. Okay. What are the two possible values for the Boolean type? Okay. What are the two possible values of the Boolean? True or false, right? Good. You can either return true or you can return false. Good. Okay. So return keyword is mandatory. Return. Let us return true. Okay. So let us change the name of the method as test. Okay. Okay, this will make this will help you out to understand the methods topic very better. Okay. Now answer me. What is the possible output if I run this code? Think and answer. Do not just answer like that. Think and answer. Step by step answer. If I run this, what is the output? Empty. Good. Empty. Okay. If you want to call this test method, name of the method is test. Yes or no? If you want to call this test method, what is the first step to achieve this? How can I call the test method? What is the first step? This is a method, user defined method. Okay. I cannot, if you go back and see this theory, what it says, the methods can be executed in mode call only when you transfer the control for the user defined method. How the control can be transferred to that method? What is the first step to do the control transfer or to transfer the control? Not getting my point. Object creation, no? A obj equal to new A. Without object creation, can we do the can we transfer the control? Yeah, Krishna Prasad, you should be past Krishna Prasad. Yeah, object creation. Okay, object has been created. After the object creation, with the help of this reference variable, you do the method call. What is the name of the method here? What is the name of the user defined method? Test. Obj.test. Okay. So when I do this call, what is output now? When I do this call, what output I will get now? If I run this code, what is the output now? No. I'm asking when I run this code, if I perform the execution, what is the output? True. Empty is output. No, why true? Nothing. Output will be blank, right? Okay, output is going to be blank. So see, you are focusing this return keyword. Is there any print statement here? No print statement here. Okay, how can we conclude that true will be displayed in the console? Output is going to be nothing here, but internally some changes will be there. Because of this, internally some changes will be there. Okay, what is happening here exactly is, okay, so you are not following the steps, not using pen and paper. That's why you are giving wrong answers. So this is my question. Okay, and the control always starts from main method. So a obj equal new a. Object creation is mandatory to call the user defined methods. The method call is what? Test call. Test. Control will be transferred from here to the test method. Okay, so only one instruction, test method. When you call test method, it is returning what? It is returning value true. Okay, so it is going to carry the value true along with it, right? It will come back to the same location. Okay, but we have not defined any variable to store this value true. Did we define any variable to store this true value? No, this will be floating somewhere in the memory. Okay, this will be this value will be floating, this true value will be floating somewhere in the memory, right? So after this the control will come out of the main method and the thread will be destroyed. Nothing will be displayed in the console. This is a floating value. Okay, if you want to print this, first I need to store this value. I need to store this value. To do that storage, I need to use a variable. Any variable you can use for the it's a meaningful name. Store is a meaningful name, so I am using store here. Okay, now I am using what type is this? Boolean type. I can use only boolean here, because if I call obj.test, it is, we are getting what value? If I call obj.test, it is returning true value, right? True is of boolean type. So variable name can be anything, but the data type should always be boolean. Boolean, because since it is boolean, this should also be boolean. Okay, when you do this call, you get true. Okay, this true will be stored to the store variable itself. Okay, now you tell me what is the output. Till here, if I execute this, what could be the output now? Empty. Good. Blank. Why blank? Because we are not accessing this variable. Okay. To give any meaningful output, system dot out dot println. Okay, I can say store. Now what is the output? True. Good, good. Now what is the output? Now what is the output? What is the output? False. Good, good. Let me run this. So if you kicked out of this meeting, try to rejoin. Okay, forget about IPL match. We will see after this. Okay, spelling mistake. It is not a. It is a syntactical error. Okay. Let's see. False. Compilation is successful. Output is false. Do you need any explanation for this line, everyone? Are we good with this? People who haven't answered for this, who did not answer for this. Darshini, do you need any explanation for this? For the value false? I hope it is concise and clear, right? Okay, Darshini is facing internet issue. Okay, okay, good, good. Okay, so this is not a meaningful what we call it as. We are just trying to understand the control flow. Okay, so we are not utilizing the concept of method in a full-fledged way. Just for our understanding, just to understand the control flow, I am taking this kind of examples. Okay, so we will do a full-fledged analysis on this in the future topics. Let me take another example here. Okay, okay, so far we are good. Okay, let me take the last example on this return type. Let me use character here. Let me remove all this. Okay, now you tell me, you should answer me fast. Okay, what is the return type of this method? I want you to answer the return type of this method and the name of the method, because I want to understand the placeholders. What is the return type of this method? No, no, what is the return type of this method? Return type. Okay. See, if you look at this syntax, there is a syntax of the methods. Okay, if you syntax the syntax, what data type I have used in the place of return type, that is the return type of this method. Understand? Character. Character is a return type. Character is a return type. Okay. What is the name of this method? Method name. Method name. So see, method name is substituted with what value? Test value. Test is the name of the method. Okay, if whenever I'm using whenever I'm using the primitive data type, as a return type, it is mandatory to use the return keyword. So let me use the return keyword here. Return anything you can return, but it should be of the character type. Okay, let me return a. Okay, so let me do the object creation. A obj equal to new a. Okay, to call any user defined method, object creation is mandatory. Okay, with the object creation, with the variable, with this variable I need to use the method name of the method is test. Let me copy this, let me paste it here. Okay, if I do this method call, what is the output now? Think and answer me, everyone. This is the last example on top of this. Think and answer me. What is the output? Empty, blank is an output. Okay, so now why blank? Because anyhow it is going to return a value. A will be returned to here, but it is not getting stored. Okay, so we need to store this, right? To do that storing, we know that it is returning the character type. Okay, so let me use a variable store here of which type? Character type. Okay, can I use integer here? No, it should be same as the type character, so it should be character. We can use integer in some cases. I will explain. If or no, since it is character, we can use character. Okay, so if I run this, do I get any output now? Yes, no. If I run this, do I get any output? Yes or no? Again, if I run this code, if I execute this code, is there any chances for me to get any output or see any value in the console? No. Again, it is no. Yes, it is no. Why no? Because we need to print. We need to print the value that is stored. So for that, I am using system dot out dot println. Okay. So value store itself. Okay. So now I think we get an output, right? What output we will get now if I run this? Yeah. Krishna Prasad says 65. Why 65 Krishna Prasad? Yeah, only, right? Character, directly I'm using a character. So character is going to be the character itself. So when I do the typecasting, then it is going to be a ASCII value. I did not do typecasting here. If you look at this code, character, we are catching the same character value. So there will be no manipulation in the output. So this is character. I am catching the character itself. So there will be no manipulation in the output, right? Run this. A is the output, right? So one more example I will give you. Okay. So I'm using double here, guys. Okay. Okay, so let me answer this. So I'm using integer here. Okay, so integer, it should expect an integer value, but I am using a character value here. I will explain you. This is for the extra days pending question that I need to explain here. This is integer. Okay, when the return type is integer in type, okay, I should be returning in type only, but I have chosen to return a character type. Okay, so let me see if you find any compilation error. Let us do the compilation and see if you're getting error. Okay, firstly I'm doing the compilation. Java C space a dot Java. Compilation is successful, no error. Okay, output is black. Okay, now so this is returning a non-character value. So let me catch this. Since here it is int, I am using integer here. So equal to, focus here guys, this is very important. Obj dot system dot out dot println. People who know can answer this. People who don't know, you can tell me you don't know. Okay, can you find the answer for this, everyone? This is going to be very interesting. This is one of the interview questions. 65. You know why it is 65? People who have answered 65, do you know why it is 65? Okay, I will explain you this. People who don't know, I'm going to explain it. Yes, integer. Okay, what is happening here is, firstly, okay, let me run this to confirm whether it is 65 or not. Huh? Java C space a dot Java, Java space 65 we are getting. We are good with the answers. Okay, how why it is coming as 65, I will explain you. Okay, first you remember this, guys. Let me copy and paste it in the paint box. This is the interview question. Please remember this. Very, very important question. Okay, this is the question. Okay, now let me write a chart here. We know the chart, right? Promotion chart. We have discussed this in the Java fundamentals. If you don't remember, you can repeat that video. The chart says byte is the smallest value, followed by chart. Okay, byte, short, and we have what? We have integer. Okay, so let us look at this chart where I was. Okay, so this is the chart, promotion chart. Byte can be converted to short. Okay, short can be what, promoted to integer. Integer can be promoted to what, long, which can be promoted to float, and which can be promoted to double. This is a promotion short. How many types? Byte, short, integer, long, four. We have 6, and we have also what? We have character, which is again can be directly promoted to integer type. Where is that noise? Please unmute it. Okay. Okay, this is the promotion chart. Okay, here we have what we have, here we have character. Okay, if you look at this, okay, so here see here the value that we are assigning it here is what? The character value. A is of what type? A is of character type. Yes or no? A is of character type. Okay, we are returning a character. We are returning a character to the int type. For example, okay, so let us take the control. Okay, so here object creation method call obj.test. Okay, so this is returning a character, but the return type is of integer type, but we are taking a character. It is possible, completely possible. Why it is possible? Because this integer next to the character is int. The promotion can be happen this way. Okay, the promotion chart, when you look at the promotion chart, you can promote the elements, you can promote the data types in this way. This is one way and this is the another way. Okay, there are two ways that the promotion can be happen. Okay, this can always be small. So if you are using integer here, you can return anything. It can be same as of integer type or lesser than the integer type. Hope it's making sense. Okay, for example, in place of integer, if I'm using double, okay, after the return keyword, it can be same as double or the data type that is lesser than double. Right, you can use float, type, you can use long type, you can use return type, you can use short type. This is possible. Right, so now let us come to a topic. So this is returning a character. Character is possible because this is the bigger data type, this is smaller data type. Always the smaller data type can be returned to the bigger data type. If you look at this chart, it is going to make sense. Character is smaller than integer. You can always return a character to the integer. So this will be carried by this controller. Okay, this a value will be assigned to what? The variable store, which is of integer type. Now the typecasting will happen. This is the character. This character will be typecasted to the equivalent integer value. Okay, first what happened? A Unicode will be identified. From the Unicode, ASCII value will be found. Okay, the ASCII value of the character A is what? 65. Okay, the 65 will be assigned to the variable store. And then we are doing what? We are accessing the store itself. That's why we are getting 65 in the console. Making sense? Everyone? Right? People who had confusion. Okay, now you tell me the possibilities and the non-possibilities. Okay, so let me remove this. Here I am using integer. Here I am using what? Okay, and instead of using, let me use a character here. Okay, now is this possible?